So Biden just wrapped up. In case you missed it, Biden had a lot to say. He's talking about what's going on with Ukraine, committing more dollars, staying supportive of Ukraine. We got to stay together. Putin's depending upon us to fall apart. We won't do it. Look, if you're asking me, I don't mind sending in the dollars. I don't mind sending in the hardware to help the people of Ukraine fight against Vladimir Putin. I understand who the enemy is, and I understand that Vladimir Putin and the entirety of Russia is quick to become a vassal state of China because, well, they can't afford this fight. They have an incompetent military. They have no hardware. They can barely keep these guys fed. The economy is in the absolute crapper. And one of the things you heard from Biden was that they're no longer going to allow ships that fly the Russian flag into U.S. ports, further trying to isolate them. That creates great opportunities for China. Bloop, slip right in and make it happen. Russia as the vassal state for China, this basically empty shell that claims to still be Russian, but doesn't have any power. I think that's coming. Welcome, everybody, to the Morning Rumble. Good to be with you. Presented by the good people at Americans for Prosperity, AmericansForProsperity.org. Greatly appreciate you. I have a crap ton to get to about the masks and the insanity of the Biden administration. The insanity, not listening to Americans, not caring about Americans, pitting themselves against Americans as a matter of just sheer politics. This is bad freaking politics. As a matter of common sense, there is no common sense, and as a matter of science, they don't have it. A CDC recommendation about masks doesn't actually make sense on an airplane when you talk about the amount of times air is turned over on an airplane. It just does not make any sense at all. But I had to start with this. Have you not seen what happened on The Masked Singer? I know. Tony, really? Follow me along, people. What happened on The Masked Singer is incredible. Now, I will tell you, I know of the show. I don't watch the show. I don't watch the show because it's a singer in a mask, and no one can guess who it is, and no one wins a prize if they figure it out. I don't know what to do about that. It's cute, it's fun, whatever. It's a little bit of mindless entertainment. I'm cool with mindless entertainment. But one of the things they do very, very well in that show is they try to find people who are going to engage, excite, or shock. And last night, I think they found their person.
Oh my goodness! Former Associate Attorney General, former Mayor of New York City.
Is that Robert Duvall?
No, that's not Robert Duvall.
Rudy Giuliani!
Now, before I play the rest of it, because there's a great part 2 here. How did Giuliani think this was a good idea? And is he right? People do these kinds of things because they resurrect careers in this way, give people a different view of you. I mean, he went on to discuss a whole thing about, I want to show my granddaughter that you could do things that people think aren't like you, and you could challenge yourself and do all these kinds of things. All right, good for Rudy Giuliani. People were outraged. And that's where I got to play the full part of this video, because this is how they showed it, but this was not it. This isn't actually, as I saw it, what happened. Watch again.
Oh my goodness! Former Associate Attorney General, former Mayor of New York City.
Is that Robert Duvall?
No, that's not Robert Duvall.
Rudy Giuliani!
No way! Oh my God!
Wow!
Oh my God! I had no idea.
Wow, this is definitely something I never would have guessed.
You look at comic and actor, he's actually a doctor, Ken Jeong there. He's got his hands folded. Can't believe it. Ken Jeong walked off the set. He walked off the set. Seeing Rudy Giuliani, I'm done here. Why? You're making millions of dollars from this show, and he's the guy they picked. They had Sarah Palin on the show. Who knows? Maybe you can get Trump, but I think it might mess up his hair and he's not going to go for that. Why are you walking off the set? I mean, even Nick Cannon, to his credit, said, with all the controversy around you right now, why are you doing this show? He goes, I don't know, Giuliani. But at least, to Nick Cannon's credit, he said there's controversy around you, whether you agree or disagree with that statement. I mean, you could agree or disagree with what the thing may be, but you can't disagree that, man, people talk about him and have strong opinions about the guy. I like that he did it. I like that it was a cultural foray. I think it's a little weird, neither here nor there. Watching Ken Jeong there, just so, like, you could see that he's going through in his head, if I stay, I'm going to get a lot of hate. If I leave, then people will love me. It shows that I'm tough. That's what I think he did. He made the calculation that he doesn't have to risk his spot on the show. After all, he's a producer of the show, and he can walk out and be like, yeah, I showed Rudy Giuliani. I wasn't going to sit there and take that. Weird flex. Really, really weird flex. But no one booed him in that audience. No one booed him in that audience. They cheered, just like they cheered when the masks came off on airplanes. And we all saw it. Video after video after video after video of masks coming off. Hey, you don't have to wear it. The judge there in Florida making the decision that the CDC didn't follow proper procedures, and therefore there is no mask mandate. You could take the mask off. And people cheered on planes everywhere. If you ask Jen Psaki, oh, no. Maybe it was one plane.
Said, and maybe some of it is because there was the video of people on one plane taking off their masks. Public polling does not actually show that there is a universal view of people getting rid of masks. That's not actually what public polling shows.
Now, the public polling she's referring to is this AP poll that shows that like 52% of Americans want to keep masks on public transportation. I don't know who they asked. Did they ask just people who work at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, or did they ask Americans who actually travel? Because nobody believes that anything more than half of America, and they believe it's far less than half of America, actually wants to keep masks on. That's what they believe. Nobody thinks that America wants to keep masks on. They don't want to keep masks on their singers. They don't want to keep masks on individuals when they're on planes. Nobody wants this. So why is Jen Psaki saying it? And did you catch the lie there at the front?
And maybe some of it is because there was the video of people on one plane taking off their masks.
On planes, on the plane, one plane. She caught herself being too exuberant about all the Americans who don't want to be forced into masks and brought it down to one plane. It's just an outrageous bald-faced lie. It's a lie, but we're getting very used to this from Jen Psaki. 52% of Americans don't want to wear masks. Of course not. Considering, if we were honest, they would recognize that they can still wear a mask. No one's going to stop them. No one is going to stop them. And I got to advise, if you see somebody in a mask, don't say anything. Just go about your business. Stop caring. Just as much as we want them to stop caring about what we wear, I don't think any of us rational people should care what they wear. What do you care? Somebody wants to wear a mask, let them. You're not affected. They want to live their life, let them live their life. I am more offended that people wear pajamas to an airport than if they were to wear a mask. And oh my, I am brutally offended by that. You should dress for an airport. You should dress for a plane. Now, I know I am the only person I know who does this. I wear a suit when I fly. I do. Now, so I have every now and again, it's just the blazer and like slacks or dress jeans. I wear a suit when I fly. I think you should dress the part. I think people who show up in their pajamas I think it's ridiculous. Oh, I want to be comfortable. Stop it. Stop being so comfortable. I don't want you sitting next to me in a tank top. I don't want you sitting next to me in flip-flops where you're picking out your toe cheese. I don't want you near me, and I don't want you on the plane. Show a little damn respect for yourself. That's all I'm asking. Just that much. All I'm asking for. All right, maybe you don't have to be me. You don't have to wear a suit, but suit up. Barney was right. Suit up. It's worthwhile. But Jen Psaki is lying. One plane. It wasn't one plane. It was millions of Americans who were thrilled by this. But we see now that we are going to have ourselves a fight The Justice Department will appeal the ruling because the CDC wants them to. Now, here's where it gets interesting. CDC, it's right here, continues to recommend that people wear masks in all indoor public transportation settings. CDC's number one priority is protecting the public health of our nation. As we have said before, wearing masks is most beneficial in crowded or poorly ventilated locations, such as the transportation corridor. This is the CDC not listening to science. Two things within this conversation. First, let's take the last part first. Poorly ventilated conditions, I agree, will allow more virus to spread. That's absolutely true. Our argument on the radio shows at WIBC.com is we should take kids out of masks and put them into coats. Open up the windows in schools, and you will have really reduced, if not eliminated, the possibility of transmission of COVID. Every time they talk about these large-scale events, a Super Bowl, this and that, it's some kind of super spreader event, and it never comes, it's because it's the open air, baby. So open some windows. Ventilation is clearly very, very key in preventing COVID. Now, I'm not even talking about Omicron and these variants that basically give you a glorified cold. Yes, some people can get sick. And we should be also clear, speaking of science, vaccines, I'm not anti-vax, vaccines don't work on variants. They weren't built for it. If anybody thinks you should get vaccinated because it'll help with Omicron or any of these other variants, they don't know anything about science. They don't know anything about anything. It wasn't built for it. That would be saying you should take the vaccine off label in order to fight this. If that's the case, you might as well just take hydroxychloroquine. It's off label. It's literally the same conversation. You should check with your doctor. I'm just a guy on video. Check with your doctor, would you please? Same conversation, though, about off-label. But here's the part two. Here's the part two that I think is so unbelievably important. The this poorly ventilated location part. I should really continue this part. It's not even a second part. Planes are not poorly ventilated. Planes recycle the air, was it 8 times a minute? They're not poorly ventilated. This is what CEOs have been saying. They have absolute fantastic ventilation on planes. They should not have to deal with this. And they're right. Of course they're right. Why should a plane have to deal with this? No, I don't think a train should have to deal with it either. But planes move the air. So the thing that they say scientifically is the thing that has to happen, or the thing that isn't happening on a plane is, of course, not true because the air is moved again and again and again. Now, the part here that I think really does matter, and this is the part that I wanted to get to, was that top part. The CDC continues to recommend that people wear masks in all indoor settings. Well, then recommend it, but don't mandate it. Nobody wants the mandates. You should not have the authority to mandate it. You can indeed recommend it. Nothing wrong with a recommendation. But you are so outside the realm of where America thinks you should be. You are so absolutely outside the science as we know it. A mask, in terms of efficacy, on a cloth mask doesn't exist. On one of those surgical masks isn't that great. You'd have to be wearing an N95 relentlessly, and best of luck doing that. If you have a 3mm gap in a mask, according to the University of Waterloo study, the efficacy of the mask goes down to 3%. What are we talking about? They don't listen to any of the science at all. And why is the Biden administration getting into this fight with Americans? The Biden administration is fighting Americans on this subject. Why? What's the win? Why in the world would you fight them, attack them, treat them with such disdain and such vitriol? Have Jen Psaki lie about the celebrations that Americans had? Why would you lie? Why do you engage this fight? The answer is they really like the power more than they like you having the ability to say no. I often argue that the idea that, they want power and control, right? Okay, I agree. But there's always something that they talk about, that this ideological dream, this fantasy that they have. And in order to get that, well, you need to do this, this, and this. And sometimes they have to force you, for your own good. They've already lost this fight. They have lost this battle with America, and they're not done fighting because some people on Twitter screamed and yelled and said, I'm going to keep wearing a mask. And why aren't we staying safe? People live in fear all the time. That, there are people afraid to leave their homes. Is it agoraphobia? Is that the fear of the outdoors and spaces? If you have a mask fear, well, then just wear a mask. That you want other people to live a lesser life because of your fear, man, that's crazy. That is dictatorial brutality, and it should be fought. Picture what the Biden administration is doing. The Biden administration, after losing on mandates all over the place, is saying, nope, we still know what's best for you, and we don't care what these courts say. I find it interesting that Jen Psaki said that health decisions should not be made by the court, and now she wants the administration and the Justice Department to appeal the decision so the courts can implement the health decisions. These people lose on every single level. They lose everywhere you twist and turn. It really is something else. It's absolutely stunning. Marley there on Rumble saying, poorly ventilated tunnel. The airplane pulls away and it's missing an entire wall. Wait, you mean which tunnel? What are you talking about? Like where you walk onto the plane? All right. I can go with that. I can live with that. And this is the good one. I've used this on radio before. Over there on rumble.com, Ham Sensei. We can end Title 42 because there's no emergency, but we need to keep masks on airplanes because there's still an emergency. And this is why the Biden administration continues to lose with the American people. It's two competing messages. It's two messages. We need to do this for the public safety, but we don't have to worry about it at the border because there's no public safety issue. Game over. There's nothing left. That is absolutely accurate. Linda, hey, Linda, what's going on? I'm not against your right to wear a mask, but if your mask works, why do I need to wear mine? Science. Look at you. If the mask stops things from being expelled and stops things from coming in, you wearing a mask stops those things. If I wear a mask, it's doubly stopped. Well, that's not actually true in either direction. If you're talking about a mask stopping something, I agree. By definition, we can all agree that a mask stops something. But COVID is aerosolized, not necessarily droplets. And masks, which are not properly fitting, which is the vast majority of Americans, doesn't stop anything. And the minute you pull it down to drink, out into the air it goes. The minute you want to throw a peanut in that gullet, in that mouth hole of yours, that's me doing a peanut right there. One more time. Had two. Now you're just putting things out into the atmosphere, out into the air, out into the cabin. We know this. You're absolutely right, Linda. We get it. Now, this is true. This is Corey. I don't know, Corey. Corey, what's going on? Shanghai is a very clear example of how masks don't work. Shanghai is an example of what happens when you give government total control over you. The Shanghai story, locking down 25, 26 million people, and then flying drones across the city saying, don't scream out your windows because you don't have food. Don't sing out your windows because you don't have food. Control your soul's desire for freedom. That's what they told the people. I don't think we should control our soul's desire for freedom. I think we should go full Les Miserables. Do you hear the people sing? That's any time for a musical, people. That's would be me. That would be me. Keeping us busy with this mass crap while other crap is being brewed and keep us all at each other's throats. That's Suzanne. It's funny. I used to not think that was always it, right? I like that's so Machiavellian. That's giving them so much more credit than they deserve, regardless of whoever the they is that we're talking about. Lately, I got to admit, and I try to check myself on this because I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky cat. I think that's how a lot of people see it. Suzanne, I think that's how a lot of people view it. Just keep the bread and circuses going, keep people angry at each other, and then throw Giuliani on the Masked Singer, and then there it is. And then we'll just keep, trying to push these things forward. The ideology over everything. I don't think you're wrong. I hate the fact that I don't think you're wrong. But I don't think that you're definitely wrong. Now, a couple of things. All right. I have been, I don't know if I'm noticing. I'm going to say noticing. I'm watching where this economy is going. And my markers and my indicators are different than maybe other people's. All right. So I take a look at jobless claims today, and they were basically in line. The prediction was 182,000, was 184,000. That's in line. But I'm noticing that the price of luxury goods has gone down. And what I'm seeing is that I think people are taking this moment and taking a look at this inflationary economy, and they're hoarding cash. That's what I think is happening. So I'm going to start doing something on the show that I don't, there's no other reason to do it. It just, I want to talk about some of these luxury goods and where these prices are. And I want your help on that. If you're seeing the price of used cars or luxury cars go down, I want you to send it to me. Either leave comments here on Rumble, rumble.com/Tony Katz. Make sure you subscribe, rumble.com/Tony Katz, or you can email me, Tony@TonyKatz.com. You can do that. I'd appreciate it if you do that. Then I'm going to test a theory. I'm curious to see. I want to buy your watch. Now, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you're gonna be able, if it'll change there. This is the first luxury purchase I ever made on a timepiece. I love watches. I'm crazy about watches, but I never really bought one until I could afford one. This is not even the big time Rolex stuff, right? The Submariner kind of stuff, which is super, super cool. Yachtmaster, Pepsi. This is a 1959 Rolex Oyster Perpetual. It is, to me, simple, sleek. I don't like a lot of activity. It's got to be something really interesting, a personal connection for me to do that. I want to see if people are looking at selling luxury goods and where they're pricing things. So I want to know what you have to sell. All of a sudden I'm doing Tradio. I want to buy your watch. I do. I will make the offer right here on the show, or I'll do it via email. I want to buy your watch. I want to see where everything's at. And also I'm going to be talking about more things like this. I just so cool. There are a lot of stories and everything else connected with timepieces, and the art of it is super, super special. And people in inflationary markets, they put their money into watches or into gold or into diamonds and that. I want to know what people are doing in this market. To me, it's kind of fascinating. Very, very interesting stuff. So I want to buy your watch. I have dedicated dollars to this. I want to buy your watch. I don't think on Rumble you can put up a photo. I don't think you can do that, right? But you can have a link, or you can get to Tony@TonyKatz.com, and I'll put up some of the images. I want to see. I know where things are. I'm not going to tell people what the price is at or anything else. I'll say yes. I'll say no. Maybe they're going to come at me too high. Maybe they're going to come at me realistically. I want to see if the theory is correct that luxury goods are coming down. Because if luxury goods are coming down, then one of the things that we're seeing is, well, people are hoarding cash because they don't like what they see coming on the horizon. Me, I don't like what I see coming on the horizon. So I'm asking. And honestly, if I can increase the collection by one or two really cool, weird, interesting, unique things, that's it. You can save the Timexes. I mean, good on you if you're wearing a Timex. You do you. That's not what I'm looking for. Weird request. Trust me, I've got a purpose to it. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate AmericansForProsperity.org sponsoring the whole thing. And don't forget, you can go to locals, TonyKatz.locals.com, and you can subscribe and get content there you can't get anywhere else. Our daily show sheet. We've got some live streaming going on, videos going on, really going to be breaking out with all the stuff as of the beginning of May. Really looking forward to that. And so glad that you were here. I do want to buy your watch right there. And congratulations to Rudy Giuliani on The Masked Singer. I guess that's what I'm supposed to say. Guys, I will catch you tomorrow. Take care.